Hello and welcome to Are You Tired of This Shit podcast. I'm Laney Schwest, New Orleans resident, and I'm here on behalf of the city of New Orleans, the special people in it and its culture. And we have to do something different in terms of how we manage this place. And now's the time to talk about it and get some issues with the ongoing election right now. Um, my goal here, and what we're in progress of doing right now, we've done some, is to interview on this podcast uh, all candidates for city offices, for the council seats, and for mayor, and all the we'll get all the top candidates and try to get all of them if we have time. But our focus is on getting different outcomes. The outcomes from city operations are horrible. They're terrible. And a lot of people say they just downright suck, which I think is maybe an understatement. So the point here is not to blame. We're not pointing fingers and we're not blaming. I want to look from here forward, but we also need to understand what's happening. Um, the observation can be made, and I've heard people say, well, I'm not interested in voting. No matter who I vote for, nothing changes. And some people have made that observation, and others have said, well, you ought to be more interested. But actually, I'm kind of taking the side of the people who say that. I think they're 100% right. And when you look at it, we haven't had much change in outcomes, no matter who's in office, no matter what mayor, no matter what council people. And we've had some wins and benefits here or there, but they go away when the administration changes or the council seat changes. There's been really poor consistency. Um, we're in a value destruction cycle right now. We're losing population, and the more you lose, the more you're gonna lose. It's like a patient losing blood in the emergency room. It affects local businesses. It leaves fewer of us around to pay the tax burden of an increasing city budget, which just seems to only go up, even though the city shrinks in size. And so that's, again, part of what we need to discuss. Everything's run politically in this city. When you look at government, you got to get elected. And democracy is the least worst form of government. You have to get votes. You have to get campaign funds. We know all about that. But once you're elected, it'd be great to have some policy. It's like, oh, okay, this is what I want to do for the city. Here's what it's about. You're open and transparent, and you separate that from politics. The people elected to council and mayor have a lot of stroke, a lot of influence, a lot of resources to hand out, and a lot of stuff. So uh, I think it's better if they use it mainly for policy. But here it's just used all for politics. It's all about getting reelected again. And our official policy is politics. We can't afford it anymore. The city's been running to the ground, run it till it's broke, and keep trying to jumpstart it. And we see the outcome. We see a lot of businesses suffering because of the poor performance of the city. This extends to the surrounding parishes too. So, so what do we do? People say we got to hold them accountable. Well, okay, how's that work so far? It hasn't. You can't embarrass anybody. We again, not talking about specific candidates. I'm just saying blank. Just plug one in for the last 20 years. So we have to change the dialogue, and I think the only way we can hold them accountable is to bring it up now. And we need to challenge openly some of the structures that are keeping things the way they are. So, do things need to be run politically as everything is in the city, or should things be run professionally? Should they be run by, you know, uh, some independent people who don't respond to political pressures, like a chief administrative officer, things like the Sewage and Water Board. If we don't get the outcomes of that organization straight, the city's never going to go anywhere. It's never going to turn around. So we're in a vicious cycle of, okay, we have old pipes, we can't afford to fix them. But we can't afford to fix them. But the consequences of not fixing them are flooding people back into poverty, boil water orders, and they say we just need more money. Well, that organization is run politically. We have a board of, people appointed as a favor, uh, political, but it really doesn't function like a company. The mayor is the chief executive and makes all the calls. So when we look at something run politically, the outcomes of that organization tell us a whole lot. So do we have any candidates that are willing to say, oh, we're going to depoliticize this and get some volunteer uh, you know, big star people to help manage it. Something like the port. I served as a port commissioner from 2014, 2019, and during that time, the port took over the Public Belt Railroad, which was run politically, and we ran it professionally. It was a giant change. A lot of people couldn't handle being managed, but city operations need to be managed. They need structure and order, and a lot of things that come from big business knowledge and big business thinking. So do we get this in? So so oftentimes, as a term I want to introduce, is called bullgas. It's a nice way of saying bullshitting and gaslighting because we're outright lied to a lot, and also we're convinced that what we have is good. Oh yes, we've improved things. Look, okay, the net outcome of all that is what we have today. And it's a shame that our worldly city is being managed by some not worldly people. We don't, things aren't like this, like they are here in other places. And, I travel like others. I go to other places, everywhere else has twice a week garbage collection at your house. We somewhat do once. It's ridiculous. And we're paying the same. Why does the city need to be in the garbage business? Why can't we do it like other places and just sign up with a garbage collector and you subscribe for that and people pick it up just like you pick up. But in our city, everything's got to be done politically, and it's to get the people reelected. The other thing is, why don't we have some candidates willing to take political risk? Everybody seems to be running for the second term the day one when they get in. So they surrounded all these players that say, oh, no, you got to do this, got to do that. And the options are limited. Again, we have what we have. Everybody knows this. Are any candidates willing to talk about it, to take some risks, to be real? We'll see. So, stay tuned. We have a bunch of interesting interviews on the way, including some I did at Jazz Fest, did at City Park on Mother's Day, just talking to people who were quite honest about, why they used to live in New Orleans, but they visit. They had to leave for opportunities, and it's interesting to hear what people have to say. But we all need to look in the mirror. We're going to have to build a team New Orleans where all of us get together with a common purpose to fix the size of the problems that we have, the things we have to turn around. And so far, from what I've seen of the political season, it's business as usual. People are selling into their little organizations and their little routines. Reminds me of junior high, who's the cool people and who's not, or maybe middle school. And here we are. And we're not talking about citywide problems, citywide solutions, seeking outside help that we're going to need, mainly brain power help and knowledge help and, company engineering help. So we got to look in the mirror and do our part, and we got to get engaged. So, good luck to New Orleans and good luck to all of us because we're on a trip. Look, if city operations, the sewage and water board was a ship, it had been sunk a long time ago. If it was a company, it had gone broke a long time ago. But it's a shame that our precious special city with the very special people that make it up is in the shape that it's in today. So I'll see you. Hopefully I'll see you on the screen. We'll see you out on social media. We're going to try to get the right questions out there and look for the right kind of answers instead of just promises. I hope the big media gets involved, but we need to, we need to create some action here. So thanks. Stay tuned. I will see you soon here.
This has been a BAM Network production.